Dave from the Redneck Garage. Well, I've been out here cleaning. Jennifer helped me pressure wash the driveway. I've been picking up tools and stuff off the Jeep frame that was used to take the motor out. And now we've got the last part before we take this to the machine shop of taking off the timing chain, the oil pump, lifters, a couple little brackets, and all the sensors. I think I got all of them off now. And that's what we're going to be doing next, is just taking off all the last externals, cataloging them, and then we're going to get this down to Mark, at Mark's machine shop here in Franklin. One of the coolest things I ever bought for this truck was this rollout bed, and it's got like an 800-pound capacity, and it's got steel rails, and you just grab on the end handle and pull back, and it slides in and out, and it'll lock in place. And that's super cool if you're moving transmissions or motors or anything else, so you don't have to crawl in the back of the stupid thing trying to get it out. So I've had it in there for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. It's been great. What do you want me to get, 30s?
30 is pretty much a guarantee that it will clean up.
Okay, so I'll just get 30s on them? Okay, and then on the crank itself, does it bend? What happens when it hits, when it impinges?
Well, I'm sure it's probably bent to a certain point.
The crank?
Oh, yeah.
It messes up the crank too, huh?
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Yeah, you can tell how much play it has on the sides from this ride.
Yeah, yeah.
Or the seat.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Something's gone, bearing, crank, a little bit of both.
So what's your best guess? You think it'll probably need crank too? Come on now. That's pretty bad, now that you say that. I look at it, it's like, oh shit, that is bad.
Yeah,
I mean, even if you turn it, that doesn't fix the side to side, does it?
well, I mean, like I said, the bearing's probably gone. I'm sure the rod is probably beat all hell.
And that could be why.
Egg, you know, so.
Because they kept driving it.
Yeah.
I mean, it had to be making a pretty good noise before it even fell apart. Because it would have lost a part of the skirt first.
Yeah.
And then, which is going to be a pretty good tap, 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 and just keep driving some bitch until it completely disintegrates.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's still getting them from point A to B, so why quit driving?
But on the pistons, 30 over. And
Yes.
all right. Outstanding.
See, there's a little bit of piston right there. Better than that.
Yeah.
Hey, and all of them, you need to clean your intake out real good because I'm sure your intake is probably full of piston.
You think so?
Yeah, how did it get to this one?
I had to get to there.
Plus you had 2 red valves. Your exhaust has probably got some piston in it.
That's not going to hurt anything, is it?
Like the logo up, you got one.
I think it's got one, but it looked like most of the piston was in the
Oil pan?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure most of it probably was.
Most of it was in there. It's got little. I mean, I found both rings. How'd the head come out? Good? So it didn't beat the head up so bad that it couldn't be machined. You ever seen one that couldn't be machined because it got beat up too bad?
Yes. You want to see it?
Yeah, let me see it. I want to see it. Holy crap. So Mark's showing me when the head cannot be repaired, that's pretty bad. Dang. So that's just a boat anchor now, huh?
Well, not necessarily, because it's aluminum.
What would you do?
It could possibly be all welded back up. Those are just inserts, valve seat inserts.
Yeah. Wow.
Destroyed.
All right, now that the motor's out and of course it's done at the machine shop, that gives me an opportunity to start working on this front frame because nothing's in here, to start wire brushing it and cleaning it up. And then we're going to start painting the frame, rust proofing it, and then we're going to internally coat it with the Eastwood products. So that's really cool. We'll get that done, and then we're going to have to paint that back firewall with the blue before we put anything back in, because it's not going to be that color any longer. Alright, so that's about it for today. I've been working on the Toyota, the Bondo quarter panel Band-Aid. But as far as the Jeep goes, I really appreciated Mark explaining to me what was going on with the motor when I dropped it off. He took a lot of time and just, went through it with me. One of the things was that the rod not only was missing a piston top, that it went back and forth, which meant there was damage to the crank. I don't know if you caught that on the video. Whether it needs a crank kit or not, I don't know yet. He's got to look at that. And the other part was, he showed me, he said, yeah, he goes, you need to clean your intake out really well. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then he pointed out on the other pistons, there was little pieces of where that cylinder exploded. That piston went into little bitty pieces, and it was actually embedded into the tops of the other pistons. It didn't damage the cylinder walls, but because they're going to be honed 30 over. But what it did do, he said that because the valves were bent and that cylinder was gone, it sucked up parts of the piston up into the intake and then deposited it back down into the motor, which I never thought was possible, but he showed me and I was like, wow, that's crazy. So he's working on the motor and he's going to get it bored out to 30. We're going to get new pistons for it. Kind of waiting on to see if the crank's salvageable, if it can be turned, or whether it's damaged from that catastrophic failure. And most of it, like he said in the video, is because somebody just kept driving it rather than stopping and fixing the motor. Anyway, that's what it is. But I'm excited when we get it back. We'll be putting it back in together. We're going to start working on the frame next, on the front, getting the frame cleaned up. Still working on the Toyota project. There'll be a couple videos about that I'm working on. Just a lot going on, and the weather is beautiful here in Middle Tennessee. I'm David from Redneck Garage. Keep turning wrenches.